Hello, welcome back to part two of our Differentiation in the Band Room webinar. I am Dr. Zandra Bell McCroy. I'm your virtual PLC lead for 6 through 12 band. And let's just jump right back in to where we left off. All right, so jumping right in, how does it work for us? Let's break down Tomlinson's model of differentiated instruction for us. So, the three elements of instruction that Tomlinson focuses on differentiating are content, process, and product. All right. So, the content is the knowledge, understanding, and skills that students need to learn. So, the content is actually the information that we garner from the standards. So, the skills that they need to be able to master, and the concepts that they should be able to internalize. The music that we choose, right? That's the content, and then the process is the next element, and that's how students come to understand and make sense of that content, and it's how they navigate that content, it's how they manipulate the content, is how they make their way through it on their journey to mastery, their process. And then finally, the final element is product. And the product is how students demonstrate what they have come to know, understand, and be able to do after an extended period of learning. So the product is what they actually put out there to demonstrate mastery, right? So whether it's a composition, or if it's a performance, or whatever, it is their way of exhibiting and proving that they have mastered this content, right? Okay. So how we differentiate the three elements of instruction is the next layer of Tomlinson's model, right? And we already talked about this, the readiness level. So a student's current proximity to specified knowledge, understanding, and skills. Let's try that again. A student's current proximity to specified knowledge, understanding, and skills, right? So how ready are they for this? How far away are they from what they need to be able to do? So where are they now? Meeting them where they are, and then where they have to go. How close are those two places, right? The next way to differentiate is learning profile. So a preference for taking in, exploring, or expressing content. How do they want to navigate through this content? How do they want to manipulate the content? What type of learner are they? Right? What do they need? What type of learning processes do they need? Right? And then finally, interest. Uh, that which engages the attention, curiosity, and involvement of the student. So, what are they interested in? Are they a kid that's interested in composition? Are they a kid that's interested in arranging? Are they a kid that's interested in performing? Um, what grabs them? What pulls them in? Because if you get their attention, you pique their curiosity, it will help you to get get them to navigate through this content, and then thus master the content and close that gap between where they are and where they need to be. All right. Hope that makes sense. So let's jump into content. So we are going to kind of talk specifically about um, the ways that we can differentiate in our classrooms. Okay, so content. Again, this refers to what the students are to learn and the means through which that is accomplished, right? So, um, some examples of content differentiation in the band class: grouping students to work on music at different levels of difficulty. That's not just first part, second part, third part. That is the one example that every administrator seems to know and always goes to, and that is true, and that is a method of built-in differentiation for us. We do these chair placements, and we place students in these groups that are best for them. And we have our first clarinets, our second clarinets, our third clarinets, and all of that kind of stuff. We have our students that are on mallets and then snare and timpani, and then they rotate to the next area. And so we do that, and that is built in differentiation, but it doesn't stop there. There's more to differentiating our content. And one way that um, I found that worked for us was chamber music. And that was a way, and that's also an example that Standifer uses in the article that I referenced a good bit in this presentation. And it was, I think, with a choral group that was actually the example that was posed. But this is also it also works for wind groups and orchestras and everyone. So chamber music is a great way to group students in the same level so that they can push each other and be in the same group and navigate content that is appropriate to them. So it's all about proximity. So they're a little bit closer to that goal, right? And so you want to make sure you give them an adequate challenge. And so we have two different um, clarinet ensembles that we had for our winter concert. And our winter concert was during the school day, and so we were able to be really flexible with, the to keep the crowds small. We did have people to come, and we had our chamber groups set up all over the place. And so our first part players played a clarinet ensemble, and then our second and third part players also played a clarinet ensemble. And they were in different places, and they had different challenges, and they were addressing different things. The second and third part players were addressing range. We wanted them to extend their range some. And our first part players was about precision and just playing a lot of notes, a few more notes. And so we can listen to our clarinet ensemble one, and then we'll move on to our clarinet ensemble two, and listen to both of those ensembles play. And I think you'll enjoy it. It is really, it's a work in progress. We are, a very young band, and this was some really dedicated students, and these ensembles were completely self student led. So that was another way to differentiate and allow them to find um, their way through the weeds. So I hope you enjoy our clarinet ensemble one and clarinet ensemble two, and I'll be back shortly. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. Again, I say work in progress. But another way to differentiate in the band classroom the content is students with deficiencies can actually focus on fundamentals which can accelerate their learning. This is a great way to build this into class. So this is not something that they're doing away from class. This is something in class. And so we have done several different things. We've done choice boards, where some students work on all state scales and etudes, other students work on technical studies, and other students may work on repertoire. So they get their assignment in classroom. This is our way of doing things, but they get it. They get their assignment, and it's a choice board, and they get to choose the assignment that they want to focus on, where they need the most time, and what content they really want to interact with. And so this is a sample of the rehearsal slide, and we also build it into the way we use our time. So we have a timer function, as you can see here. And sometimes we'll have another timer, a second timer built in if we want to give them a little more time. With our younger students, we keep the time really short so they don't get bogged down and lose focus. So we keep it at 5 minutes. Sometimes they get three, sometimes they get five. And we use that to give them time to look over the thing that is the most challenging for them. So, for example, we knew they were having trouble with um, our line 103 in the method book. And so we were like, okay, so we're going to build that in. We wanted to go back, let them navigate through that content a little bit more, find their way through it, find their process, figure out what they wanted to do, and how they wanted to achieve mastery. And then when the timer goes off, we go through and then we address that line as a group so that they have time. And we always have a practice target. Sometimes it's repertoire, measures this through this. Sometimes it's a line some in the book. Sometimes it is a technical study. Sometimes it's a scale. And it can be as specific as the concert C scale second octave. I mean, it can get that specific. And sometimes it's chromatic scale B flat to B flat. So sometimes that practice target, and it typically comes from something at the top of the work, and sometimes it comes from the repertoire, but most of the time is something technical. And then for kids that can do that, they always know that they can jump down to the repertoire and work on that during their 5 minute work time if they have mastered whatever our practice target is for the day. So now we've talked about content, and it's just us getting started, right? So we're going to jump back in and talk about the other areas in our final segment, and I will see you back here for part three. See you soon. Bye bye.